Hey, it's Anne. Nice to see you this evening. I'm so sorry if you popped in on the event. I screwed something up on my phone and I think it went to Messenger instead of um, where I wanted it to go. So if you miss this live, no worries. Right after I'm done, the recording will post. And then on Thursday, I'll have a blog post which will have some more pictures. And then, of course, I post to YouTube on Thursday. So if you have friends that don't do Facebook, they can catch it on YouTube. So tonight, I'm going to be showing you a super cool two-step stamping project card that uses the new Stampin' Up soft pastels. Now, if you've been stamping a while, you might still have somewhere in your craft room our old Pastel Chalks, which came in a square case, and they had a little it almost looked like a little makeup palette like you have for your eyeshadow and stuff, with every one of the Stampin' Up colors. We haven't sold those for a while, but the soft pastels are in our annual catalog, and there's there are 8 chalks in there that match some of our current Stampin' Up colors. Hopefully they will add more to the collection maybe next year in the annual catalog. Hang with me to the end because I have a Christmas treat project to show you and then some exciting news that you might not have heard about. Let me flip around my camera here so we will get started on the project for tonight. All right, let me get this going. Linda, you still have those chalks? I think a lot of people do. I sold them in my BOGO, so I don't have them, but if you do, you will be able to use them in this technique I'm going to show you. This is what the box looks like, and here are the pastels. I did a project with these probably several months ago, but I am excited to show you this two-step stamping. Now, how I get my chalks is I use my Take Your Pick tool, and this is what I use. This is the piercing tool, and then this is like the little spatula, if you will, and it works just great for getting your chalk off. So here is just a paper plate that I've turned upside down. So I've used these chalks a bunch, but you can see they last a long time. And you really don't have to shave off a whole lot. That's really about all I need. And I probably wouldn't even have to add the yellow, but I'm going to go ahead and just add a little more. And then the green is our Granny Apple green. That is one of my favorite greens. It is just so bright, and you can use it for leaves, which we're going to do tonight, or other things. All right, now let me grab the cards that I made to show you. Here's one, and here's another one. They're basically the exact same card, only I use different colors of chalk. I also use the art gallery stamp set and the coordinating dies to cut them out. I wanted to point out that I just love how these turned out with the black. I just used a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock, scored it at 4 1/4, and then this black gingham is from the paper pack. I think it's called Party Pattern. It's a host gift that you can get with your shopping dollars that you earn. It's got 48 sheets of paper, and I use this black and white gingham all the time. As a matter of fact, I got 2 of these packs during our pre-order period for our annual catalog because I just knew I was going to use it a lot. And then I stamped my hello in Bermuda Bay, and then this is Poppy Parade. I blanked there for a minute. Cut it out with a label die, and then I just used a black Stampin' Blends to color my rhinestone. Okay, let's leave this one here just so you can see it. So first, let me show you, if you didn't want to do the 2-step, how this technique would work just fine by stamping it one time. So let's get out my Versamark, and you will see that this is well loved. So I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to stamp it. Let's stamp it right side up on here, and let's move this over here. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there is the Versamark stamped. Now, you can use a blending brush with your chalks. You can use a sponge dauber. You just put it on your finger and then dip it into the chalks, or you can use a plain old Q-tip. The first time, I'm going to use my blending brush. I love these things. Then I'm going to just come in, and I am going to start coloring over this Versamark. And do you see how this flower appears? Now, you can just keep adding color to this, and you can make it as dark as you want. Okay, and that looks kind of pretty. You could cut it out. If you didn't want to cut it out and you just wanted to use this as it is, if you just take a white eraser, you can go around here and just get off all the extra color. Then you come in with a tissue, and you'll notice just a very small amount came off on the tissue, and the flower stays fine. But now let's show you the wow. So I'm still going to take my Versamark, and I'm going to ink up this piece, this stamp. Okay, got the Versamark, but now I'm going to use a Q-tip, and instead of using the Poppy Parade, I'm going to use this yellow color, which I'm not sure. I think it's mango. It could be crushed curry. Actually, yeah, it looks more like crushed curry. The other yellow in this set is more like a daffodil. I think it's Daffodil Delight. And it actually says in the catalog what the colors are, but I didn't look at those. So you can look it up, and I'll actually post it in the comments. Okay, so there it is in yellow. Looks pretty cool, but hey, now what we're going to do is I'm going to get my Poppy Parade. Whoops, wait a minute. Come on, Anne. First, I'm going to take this part of the stamp, which is this one right here. This is more of your detail. You always start with the light on the more solid one, then come in with the darker color. We're going to ink it up again with our Versamark. Then we're going to stamp it. Let me move this up here so you can see it. We are going to stamp it right over this. So let me just get it right here. Okay, now I'm going to take this Poppy Parade off of my paper plate. And look, 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 look. Watch how this appears. Here is how we get that two-tone flower. Isn't that just gorgeous? And I would encourage you to play around with a bunch of the colors and just see what you like. Like on this one, I used yellow and I used the Bermuda Bay, but the yellow and the Bermuda Bay almost turned it green on some of it. Then all you would do is you take your coordinating floral gallery dies and you would just put your die over this, run it through your cut and emboss machine, and then you end up with that. Now, for the leaves, same thing. Okay, just take your Versamark, and I don't know how long I've had this Versamark. I think I have one that is more brand new, but for tonight, I was just using the old ugly one, but it works just fine. Okay, there's the leaf, and now I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green, and I'm going to start coloring in my leaf. And as you layer the chalk on here, you can see how you make it darker. The more you put on there, it darkens it up. And this is a distinctive stamp, so when you see these areas here where you can see almost a shading effect, it's supposed to be that way. And that's just what gives it such a neat effect. Then come in with your tissue, rub off that extra chalk, and it doesn't affect your image. I can go back in on all of these, and the chalk is still there just fine. So isn't that just an awesome technique? Hey, Maria, I'm glad you could join in tonight. Now, I want to tell you some exciting news that you may not have heard. For those of you that have been stamping a while, let me turn my little camera around here again so you can see my eyeballs while we are talking. Here we go. All right, let's get that back in. Okay, so those of you that have been Stampin' Up customers for a while, whether with me or someone else, if you've been around a long time like I have, almost 20 years, when you got your starter kit, it was over $200. You got a big box of product. It was totally worth the money back then, but they picked the items you wanted. Fast forward up until October 31st, you could get the starter kit for $99, and you got to choose $125 worth of product. You paid tax but no shipping. That's still a great deal. Whether you wanted to just be a discount shopper or whether you saw a little bit more like I did back in the day to start a business where I could actually earn money and help my friends and people I met do what I do. But November 2nd, guys, it all changed. Now you can still get $125 worth of products, but for the month of November, it only costs you $75. So let me show you this little Christmas project that I made here. Can you see that? It is a little pillow box. So I cut out this pillow box with this die right here on real red cardstock. Now, the pillow box die also has, let me see if I still have them here on my table. They've got the little, here we go. They've got 3 little pieces. Here's one of them that goes, let me get it back up here. It goes right in here at the top. And there's 2 other ones, and these are them. One gives 2 little holes, and one gives just the barely scallop. But the one I chose has this pretty flower pattern right there. So I cut it out of real red cardstock, and then I ran it through the brick embossing folder. Because for me, gingerbread, really, it looks, gingerbread houses look sometimes like they're brick. And then I wanted to show you about this little flower right here. So there is stickers, there are stickers, I should say, that come in the Memories and More pack. And this is like an oven mitt. Well, I wasn't going to use an oven mitt on my card, so I took this little flower here that comes in the die cut set, and I cut it out of this little oven mitt. It's sticky on the back, and I stuck it right here. Then this is a sticker as well. I used the A Wish for Everything stamp set to get the word I wanted, which was Merry. Then I used this cool little label die, which also came from the floral gallery that I used to cut out when I made this card that I showed you tonight. So here's the deal. So the stuff that I used to make this little project, okay, it was the pillow box dies that are $34. The Memories and More cards are $11. The cards and envelope are $10. The Real Red cardstock pack is $8.75. And the gingerbread DSP that coordinates it with it all is $11.50. So at that point, for all of that, you would have spent $75 if you just ordered it. But you get $50 more to spend in the startup kit. So let me show you a couple other samples. Here is a card that I made using that gingerbread DSP. It's early espresso cardstock, some pearls that I colored with Stampin' Blends, and a punch. Okay, this one is a big Memories and More card. See that? And then the small Memories and More card, a couple of stickers. Here's the envelope that goes with that. Oh my gosh, one more thing. So if you've heard of the Eden's Garden collection, here's some cards from a swap I was in. This one isn't even using the DSP. It's just using the stamp set and dies. But the collection comes with a stamp set, dies, 2 different kinds of paper, the designer series paper, and this is actually cotton paper. This was my card for the swap. It was a fancy fold, and I think I showed you this on one of my Facebook Lives a while ago. This card is a belly band card. So it's got the belly band. You take the belly band off and woohoo, open it up. Wouldn't that make a beautiful Christmas card? You could even add in some red onto this image right here, and that would just make it beautiful. So the point of me telling you all of this is I know a lot of you are probably thinking about Christmas cards, Christmas gifts, little, if you work, you might be thinking about coworker gifts. And if you subscribe to my newsletter, you've been getting for the past 5 weeks. It started, I think, the last Wednesday in September. You get a different Christmas idea delivered to your email box once a week. I do 5 weeks of cards, then I do 4 weeks of gifts, and then 3 of bags, tags, and wraps. So you can still get the gifts and the bags, tags, and wraps if you go to stampmaven.com and sign up for my newsletter. You'll also get another tutorial just for doing that. But I really want you to consider going to annbrown.stampinup.net to check out this special I was telling you about. You can also give me a jingle or a text at 214-293-4461 or email me at ann@stampmaven.com. If you decide this isn't for you, that is perfectly fine. But in the past, I have not shared these kind of things because I haven't wanted to seem pushy. And then people ask me, why didn't you tell me about this? I mean, it almost is just, a no-brainer because you're probably going to spend the money on the products anyway. There's no lifetime commitment when you sign up. There is a quarterly minimum, which is $300 a quarter, but when you factor in your discount, it's only about $240. So if you end up not spending that, that's cool. You just kind of drop off. But if you decide, hey, I might like to make a little money over the Christmas holidays, or maybe you're going to spend a lot of money and you want to earn some of that back, I can help you with that too. I just love mentoring people. My day job is an HR director, but my night full-time Stampin' Up job too, yeah, I'm pretty busy. I love mentoring my team members. So I hope you enjoyed learning the two-step stamping, my little pillow box project, and the great deal that's going on. So that's all I have for you tonight. Leave me a comment if I can help you, and I'll see you next Monday. Toodaloo!